This conference will now be recorded.
Okay guys, now let us start the today's session. So in the previous class, we have started discussing something about the test cases. I mean, we have seen what is a test case section, how do we create a test cases, and basically how do we use the existing modules in our test cases and creating a test case for any functionality. So that we have seen in the yesterday's class. I mean the day before yesterday, I mean the previous classes. So now in the today's class, what are we going to learn in the today's class is something about the action modes. As I told you that there are different action modes, whatever you are trying to perform. See, whatever the attribute that you have scanned and used it in the module, you can provide your input value in the value section, and accordingly you have different action modes. I mean exactly what action you are trying to inform TOSCA to perform that on the application. So there are different type of action modes. So we will see what are these different action modes available and which action mode will be used at what time. So we will be learning about all these things one by one. So in order to explain about these things, the what are the different action modes which we have got is, let me increase the font size for your convenience. Yes. So what are the different action modes available in Tosca? The first one is input, second one is verify, third one is buffer, fourth one is wait on, fifth one is select, and sixth one is constraint. So these are the different action modes which are available in TOSCA. Sometimes even these questions can also be asked in an interview, asking saying that what are the different action modes available in TOSCA. So these are the 6 different action modes which are available in TOSCA. Sometimes they can also ask you individual action mode as well. Can you explain me what is a buffer? Can you explain me why constraint is used? So for each and every action mode, specifically there would be a specific situation and example, right? So we will be seeing one after the other. So first of all, basically, what is an input action mode? It is very simple. We might have heard many times. Input action mode is if we want to provide any value as an input. We want to provide input data to any control in the application, then you can use the action mode input. There is no explanation required for this input action mode. If you want to input something, by default the action mode will be input. And the next thing is, what is action mode verify? If you want to verify something, if you want to verify any control or a text message or any content or so basically, if you want to verify any control is present in the application or not, or any text is present in the application or not, or any part of the text, I mean the content is present in the application or not, then you can use the action mode verify in order to verify your the content which is present in the application. So these are the basic 2 action modes which everyone knew. Input and verify are the 2 most common and the basic action modes which we will be using throughout on a daily basis. But there are other action modes which we might see for the first time. But do not worry, I won't complete these 4 action modes today itself, because this buffer itself will take, I mean there is a huge concept on buffer. It takes one class on for me, and this wait on is called as synchronization. This will take another class. This select and constraint I'll take one more class. Means each and everything I'll take a separate example and I will try to show it to you. So but before showing it to you, at least I'll give you a brief idea of what is this. So what is this buffer means? Buffer is a temporary storage to store values and can be used at later point of time. Like, now this is the basic simple meaning of a buffer. What do you mean by buffer is, in Tosca, buffer is used in order to store some values. I mean whatever the value or whatever the number, whatever the text message that you want to store, you can store it by using the concept of buffer, and you can reuse it. I mean, see, when you are storing something, ultimately, why do you store basically any value? If until and unless there is some reusability on that particular point, right? If you want to reuse that at a later point of time, then you will be storing it. So it's a direct proportionality. So whenever you want to use something, you will be storing something. So if I want to store any value or a text message or any content in the application, I will be making use of the action mode buffer, and I will be storing that particular content into one variable. And whenever the time is required or the situation is required, I'll try to reuse that with the help of the syntaxes which are available in Tosca. So this is just a brief introduction to what is a buffer, but there is a huge concept. So I'll take it very slowly. So do not worry about this concept of buffers. Now there is something called wait on. What is this wait on? So this action mode wait on, what we are seeing is something about the concept of synchronization. I would say in order to achieve the concept of synchronization in Tosca, we will be using this action mode wait on. What is synchronization basically? Generally, synchronization means a communication, same level of understanding and communication between two objects, right? Now, why we are talking something about the synchronization point? Basically, when we are trying to automate an application, now we are trying to automate an application called Demo Web Shop with the help of a third-party tool called Tosca. So, Tosca is one object and application is one more object. Means if they want to communicate with each other, there should be a proper level of understanding or communication between the two applications. Then only the automation will be working perfectly. Correct? So in order to achieve some, why need to achieve the synchronization between these two applications? Sometimes there might be a network issue, sometimes there might be a power issue from your end, or your system might be slow, or there might be network bandwidth connectivity which might be very slow. So you might have your internet connection very slow. Then what happens when your network is too slow and then system is too slow? Then you are trying to automate an application. Then what will happen between these two things? Either the application will be running fastly, or Tosca is trying to click on an object, but because of the network connectivity, your application itself is not loading. So then what will happen in some such circumstances? So your test cases will start getting failed. So means there is no proper communication between that. So what we will be doing is externally, we will ask some time for Tosca to wait, right? In order to achieve this synchronization and the proper communication and understanding between the application which you are automating and the Tosca automation tool, we will use some external inputs. These external inputs are nothing but the time waits. Means we will be asking Tosca to please wait for 10 seconds, 15 seconds, then only you click on that control. So these kind of external inputs based upon the timing, in order to wait, is in order to achieve the synchronization, we will be using this action mode wait on. This action mode wait on we will be using at that point of time. So this is only just brief introduction. With examples and differences I will be telling you in the upcoming classes. And then coming down, you have two action modes called as a select and constraint. These select and constraint will be used only on the web tables. Even this one, this select and constraint will be used only on web tables in an application. Means basically in an application there might be some tables, right? So tables in the sense like rows and columns would be there. So if you want to perform any operations or any actions on the tables in an application, you will be using the action mode select and constraint. So sometimes your questions might also come from a specific scenario kind of view. Sometimes they might ask you, have you worked on synchronization? So yes, you will say, yes, I have worked on synchronization. We will achieve the concept of synchronization in Tosca with the help of an action mode wait on, and you will be giving a proper example. Then you will be, then sometimes they will also ask you, have you worked on tables? Or they might ask you a scenario on the tables itself. So what you need to say, yes, we have worked on the tables. So basically when we want to work on a tables in an application, the most important action modes we use are select and constraint. So you need to understand the question what they're asking about, and then we need to answer the questions, right? Actually basically these are the six different action modes which are available in Tosca for us. So we will see one after the other. So today we will concentrate on input and verify. So tomorrow what we will do, we will learn something about the buffer. Then day after tomorrow we'll learn something about the wait down, and day after tomorrow we'll learn something about the select and constraint. So slowly one after the other we will try to learn each and every action mode with some proper and meaningful examples. So is it clear for everyone about the theoretical and introduction part? This is only the introduction part. Is it clear?
Yes, it's clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Thank you. So what we will be doing is I will be going back to Tosca. So as I told you, if I want to explain about the basic input and verify action mode, first of all, I need to have a test case, right? I need to provide my inputs. Already, you know, if you want to input something, you have given the action mode as an input. But let us automate our first test case in Tosca. So today, in our today's class, we will be automating our first test case. So day before yesterday in our previous class, we have just tried to create a sample test case and only a single step. Now what we will be doing in this today's class is we will automate one complete test case. So what is this test cases? For example, I'll go back to the application. So this is the application which we are automating. In this application, basically, so what is the first thing that we will be doing after coming to this application? So I opened this application. I'm a new user to this application. So what is the first thing that I'll be doing? I'll be registering myself, correct? So as a new user, I want to register myself into this application. So what is the functionality that I have got? I have got the functionality of registration functionality in the demo web shop. So now I will be explaining and showing you the register functionality automation with this Tosca. So we will automate our first test case as register a user into this demo web shop. So how we will be doing that is, let us see. So I'll go back to Tosca. I'll delete the previous test case because I do not need this. So I'm doing it from the scratch. This is my test cases section. I'm just giving a right click. I'm creating a new test case, and I'm going to name the test case as register a user into application. This is the name of the test case which I have given. And what I'm doing after creating a test case, I'm changing the work state to in work because I'm working on the test case, and you can see the icon has got changed. Now when you're creating a test case, what is the first step? After opening the application, you want to click on this register, right? So do you have a module created for register? Yes, you have module created for register. So this is the module which you have created for register. So just get the module and use it in your test case. So now what you're doing, you are clicking on register. That's it. So first step is, as I told you, click on register is the first step you have created. So after clicking on register, what you will do, so now you clicked on register, what is the next step you need to do? You need to enter all the details, right? So if you want to automate the register functionality, you need to click on this register, and after clicking on this register, you need to enter all these details: gender, first name, last name, email, and all these things, and you need to click on this register button. In order to do this, do I have the module scanned for this? Does anyone tell me, do I have the module for this?
No, Madhav.
So, whenever you are trying to automate any functionality in an application, the first thing that you need to see is, do you have any module created for that? If you have a module created for that, use that, drag and drop into your test case. If you do not have a module created for that, just go simply and create a module for yourself. That's it. There is nothing big in knowing about that. So I do not have a module created for that. So I'm scanning my application. Now see, again we have come back to scanning a module, scanning the application, creating a module, right? Everything in Tosca is almost dependent upon creating the modules. So here I'm going to automate and scan the demo web shop. I'm just clicking on scan. It is trying to load me the controls. So then you can see here I'm just arranging my access scan window to convenient position, and I'm just clicking on select on screen. After clicking select on screen, I want to identify this. Now what controls you want to identify, at which place you want to provide your inputs, you need to identify those controls, correct, right? Male, female, first name, last name, email, password, confirm password, and register button. So now you can ask me, Madhu, why did you scan only these controls? Means because these are the only places that I need to enter my inputs in the application, right? Correct. That is why I have scanned all these controls. I'm just disabling again select on screen. Now see all the controls, whatever you have identified, everything is become unique. And you can also see which properties it has used. So in it, it has used ID and tag. You can also use class name. As I told you, it is up to your convenience. You can use whatever the properties based upon your interest and convenience. And simultaneously, you also have the option to rename your attributes. Now see, there is an letter called M. What it is a radio button. Radio button M means it is pertaining to a value called male. So M will only be not understandable by some others who have not scanned this application. So I'll directly give male. Now see, because you can also rename the attribute so that you will have a proper understanding and best maintenance. Can you see now? Previously, when we have letters M and F, is it clear, or now male and female? Which one is clear? So automatically the words with the full sentences would be clear, right? So I have just given this, and everything is unique. So my job is done, and I'm just saving it, and I'm closing my access scan window. Now you can see a new module will be getting created in my TOSCA. And as I told you, whenever you create a new module, you need to rename it properly, register details. These are the registration details, right? So I have created a new module. I'm just using this module in my test cases, drag and drop. So automatically whenever you drag a new thing, automatically it will come and sit at the second place, correct? Now I'm just again rearranging, I mean renaming it. After clicking on register, what you're doing, enter the registration details. So now I will be entering the registration details over here. So what are the registration details I will be entering here is basically, now see, now there are two options here in order to give the input as a gender, either male or a female. Here you need to understand something. These are the radio buttons. So these are not the check boxes. These are the radio buttons. Only one can be selected at one point of time. If you select male, female will be disabled, and if you select female, male will be disabled. So only you can select only one option. So because so I'm just giving a input as a male, giving a click. You need to select, right? And I am not giving any input in the female. So why I'm not giving input at a female? Because these are radio buttons. You can capture only one at a time. You can't give two inputs at the same time, right? And that is why you can select any a radio button based upon your gender. So based upon the gender, which user is required to register into the application, we can select that gender and we can proceed forward. What is the first name? For suppose, let me say that I will give this random value as a first name. Okay, you're understanding? I just give random value, and automatically the action mode becomes input. And what is the last name? I'll just give something as the last name. I'm just giving some random values. Can you see now? Can you make out a difference? Whenever you give some inputs to a control, automatically these controls are enabled. Means you can see these controls for which you have not given the inputs, they are grayed out, they are disabled automatically. Whenever you give some inputs to any control, these would be shown in a enabled state for you guys, right? So now I'm just trying to provide some email ID. I'm just trying to give some dummy email ID. Now can you see I'm just giving some dummy data over here, and when it is coming to now, till now when you have given your inputs for the first name, last name and email, the data type which you are seeing it as a string. Basically what is a string? String is nothing but a group of characters. These first name, last name, email and this radio button, even this click operation, these are nothing but a group of character, right? So group of characters will always determine the string. So that is why you are able to see the values. But for password and confirm password, can you see the data type as password? So why by default, what happens is I'll tell you. So for example, I'll give you a password of, let us consider that this is my password. Can you see automatically what has happened? Now my password has got encrypted. See now, Tosca has given you even the provision of password encryptions. See, if you go to another scripting or another programming language, you need to write a script or a code in order to encrypt the password. But here in Tosca, there is no need. If the data type of that particular control is set as a password, then whatever the value you enter, it will be encrypted. Password encryption is as simple as such in Tosca. Just give the value, but the data type for that particular control should be password. Then the value will be automatically encrypted. Right? Now I'll tell you one more question. They can also ask in an interview. For suppose you entered a value, it is password encrypted. Can you get back the value? So you can't get back the value. You won't even know what is the value. Once it is encrypted, you can't even find what is the value. So please remember, so whenever you give some value as an input and it is encrypted, you need to remember what value you have given. Otherwise it will not be decrypted again. Only encryption is possible, decryption is not possible. This is one important thing you need to remember. Second important thing again you need to remember is, can we change the data type from password to string? Sometimes they will ask this question in the first round of the interview. Can we change the data type of a pass from password to string? Yes, it is possible to change the data type from password to string. Yes, I have changed. But what has happened? Yes, you can change. But when you change, automatically whatever the value you have given, it will be erased. You have only seen in front of you, right? I have changed the data type from password to string. But as soon as I have changed that, whatever the value you have given earlier is been vanished. I mean, it's been removed. So now, when the data type is string, whatever the value you enter, it will be visible now. Can you see it won't be encrypted? If you want encryption, the data type should be password. But if the data type is string, it won't be encrypted. It is visible to you. Please check now. Can you see I have given the same value, right? Password and confirm password both should be one and the same. I have given the same inputs. But here the data type is password, but here the data type is string. Now see, because the data type is password, it is encrypted. Because the data type is string, it is visible to us. If you want any control for visibility, you can just change the data type to string. But when you change the data type from password to string, the data will be cleared out and clicking on this register. Now what you have done, you have clicked on register, you have entered all the registration details, right? Can we run this and see now? I'm just executing these two steps. I'm just selecting these two steps and I'm just executing it. How do I execute? Just give a right click, and after giving a right click, click on run in Scratchbook. Now see, your execution is about to get started, and you can see it should click on register. So it has clicked on register. Now it will enter all the details. Can you see? It has entered all the details and your test case has got passed. You can see the results also there by going back to Tosca. Can you see here? So totally it has taken 11 seconds and 229 milliseconds in order to complete its execution, and it will also show you step by step at which time it has started, how much time it has taken, and all these things it will be trying to give you in front of you, right? And after completing the registration, can you see here there is something called your registration completed. Now, as I told you, today we are going to discuss something about the action modes input and verify. If I want to explain something about the action modes input and verify, I told I want to automate this application. Now we have seen all the input action mode, everything is an input. Now when do we use verify action mode and how do we verify this control is now we will be seeing. So once you completed the registration process, again it is saying it is giving a success message. Correct? Your registration is completed. Either consider this as a success message or either consider this as a notification saying that your registration is completed so that people will understand, right? So your registration is completed message is visible for us. So I want to verify this content and I want to click on continue. So do I have a module created for this? No. Obviously, what should I do again? Go back to module, create a new module. I'm just clicking on this XScan window and I'm selecting the application and I'm clicking on the scan button. After clicking on the scan button, as I already told you, arrange your XScan window so that you would be able to see the controls. So as I told you, what I would be scanning, I'm just selecting on screen. And what are the controls that I needed? I want this, your registration completed. See here, your registration completed. I want to verify this. So I am selecting this and I want to click on continue. So these are the two controls which I need. I identified them and I'm disabling my select on screen. After selecting the controls, can you see one of the control is not becoming unique? Why it is not unique? Let us see. So what are the properties it has used? Inner text it has used. I'll use outer text. I'll remove inner text. Is it becoming unique? No. There is no ID. I'll use class name. See, by using the class name, this property has got identified uniquely. Means my job is done. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I need to make the control unique and with the best practices. And your registration completed. I'll just give this success message so that if I see here, I will be able to remember, okay, this your registration completed is a success message. As I told you, I have an option to rename the name of a attribute as well. So I'm just saving it and I'm just closing it as the module has been automatically created. Now what I'll be doing, as I told you, see, whenever I create a new module, I'll just rename it. What is this? Register success message. Now can you see by seeing the name of a modules itself, can you see whatever the modules I am giving, by seeing the name itself, I will be able to easily identify which module is scanned for what. So I'm just using this module in my again test case. I need to drop in my test case. So automatically the third step has been created. Rename the third step, verify the success message and continue. Why I am giving all these naming conventions means by seeing the steps itself, see this, by seeing the steps itself, what I am doing will be easily able to understand. See, if someone wants to register into this application, what they want to do, they want to click on register first. After clicking on register, they will enter the details. And after entering the details, they want to verify the message and click on continue. Now, now they are asking to verify the success message. How do I verify is basically you can see one drop down, right? Earlier we are able to see two drop downs. This is one drop down to provide your input. Second drop down is this one. So this drop down, when I clicked on this, you will be able to see multiple properties like enabled, exist, inner text, visible. You can these are the four different properties by default which are given by TOSCA. You can use any of them and you can verify your content present in the application or not. For example, I am taking an example of visible dot visible drop down equal to true. T should be capital TRUE. Visible equal to true. I need to give action mode as verify. Now what I am saying to Tosca is I am informing to Tosca, please verify this control is visible to me or not in the application. Are you getting my point? I'm just informing it to Tosca. You please verify, because the action is verify. I am asking Tosca to verify. What I am asking Tosca to verify? Whether this control, which control, your registration completed control is visible, equal to true means is visible to you or not. I am asking to Tosca, you please verify whether that control is visible to you or not. If it is visible, you pass it. If it is not visible, you just fail it. I'll just execute this and show it to you. See, it has got passed. You can also see the scratchbook results also. So what is the scratchbook result? It is saying verification was successful, means expected value is true, actual value is also true. Why it is showing as a true? Because you asked Tosca as a true, means you are asking Tosca as an expected true. Is it visible to you or not? Tosca is saying yes, it is visible to me. So that is why it is saying verification was successful, expected value is true, and actual value is also true. Right? Now you can also use, it is not mandatory that you need to use visible, you can also use exist. What is the difference between exists and visible? It is a normal English meaning. Exist means if that control is present or not. Visible means if that control is visible to you or not. So it is up to your convenience. You can use either visible or you can use either exist. Even there would be no difference. Let us execute and show you. I just used visible earlier. Now I'm using exists. There would be no difference. Now see, it has got passed. And what is an output that you are going to see? The verification was again successful. You got the same thing. Verification was successful. Expected equal to true, actual value equal to true. So it is up to your convenience and based upon your situation, you can use either exist or visible. Now there is something called inner text. Why we need to use inner text is, for example, now what I have asked you, I have told you, after registration, I want to verify this success message. Now what I have done, I have just only verified this success message is present or not in the application. But I have not verified whether the success message is containing the your registration completed properly or not. Correct, right? Till now what I have done, either by using visible or either by using exist, I have just verified the control is present or not or existing or not, but I have not verified the exact content. What is the content of this text message of this? Your registration completed. I have not verified this. Correct. Sometimes in the application, if this is changing, if the message your registration completed is changed, what will happen? Your test case will fail. Tomorrow, for example, let us consider, dear customer, your registration is completed successfully. What will happen if your success message is changed to that message? Today it is your registration completed. Tomorrow if it is changing to, dear customer, your registration is completed successfully, please click on continue to proceed further. If this kind of success message is given in the application, what will happen if you execute this? If you execute your test case, it will it will not verify everything, right? It is not even finding there is a change in the application, means there is a change that has happened in the application. The success message has changed. When there is some change happening in the application, your automation tool should find out, right? But if you script like this, will it be able to find? No. Then what I will be doing is, so you can use a property called inner text. If you use the property called inner text, you can exactly verify the same content is present or not in the application. So what I'll be doing is, can you see here? I'm just saying now, please see what I'm informing to Tosca is, again I'm informing to Tosca to please verify. What to verify? Whether this control is containing the text called your registration completed. I'm just informing to Tosca, you please go and verify whether that particular control is containing a text message, your registration completed. If it is containing your registration completed, something in addition to this, it will fail. So exactly it should be as it is, whatever it is there in the application, I'm just asking to verify. Now I'll run this and show you. See, there would be a difference between exist visible and inner text. Now see, you will only tell me that inner text would be better if I use it. Now see, again it is passed. There is no difference. Even if you use exist visible or inner text, there is no difference. Only the way you execute, see the result, you are getting a message called verification was successful. And when this verification was successful, you could see here expected value. See what you are expecting? You are expecting your registration completed. And what is the actual value? Even the actual value is also your registration completed. Means exactly you are verifying the content. The exact content is being verified, right? See, the content is your registration completed. If there is any other extra letter more than this, your verification will fail. But previously will it work? See, for example, I'll give your registration completed full stop. I'll execute this and show you. See what has happened now? It has failed. The reason why it has failed, go back and check here. See, it has failed in red color. See the error message, verification has failed. It is showing you what you are expecting. You are expecting your registration completed full stop. But what is the actual value present in the application? The actual value present in the application is your registration completed, right? Even if there is a simple minor change, inner text will be able to grab it and it will show it to you very clearly, right? Is it clear for everyone about the usage of inner text?
Yes, sir.
So please remember, whenever you want to verify the text message, whenever you want to verify the content of a control, text of any control, please use a property called inner text and just verify it. You are just asking TOSCA to verify. If there is no such need, just use the property exist and visible. Then there is one more property pending, right? What is that? Enabled. Nothing. It is just only to show whether that property is enabled or not. In order to give a small example, so we might have come across many applications, right? If you remember, until and unless you enter all the details, the last submit button will be disabled only, correct? The last submit button or enter button will be disabled till you enter all the details. Once you fill all the details only, then the enter button or submit button will become enabled in some applications. If you are working on such kind of applications, if you want to verify whether that control is enabled or not, correct, right? You also need to verify whether that is, even after you enter all the details, if it is not enabling, what you will do? You can't enter that, right? You can't click on that. If it is not enabling, you can't go and click on that. So if you also want to verify any control if it is enabled or not, then you can use this property called enable. So these are the four different properties you can use if you want to verify any control, any text, any situation, right? Now I have verified all these things, and what I should do, I need to click on this continue button. So I will just click on run in scratchbook. I'm just executing this. So now it is verifying the success message and it will click on continue. Now see, verification is done and it is clicked on success, right? Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now after registration, what I wanted, for example, if I want to log out, I'm just explaining only a small functionality. If I want to log out, do you have a module created for logout? No. What is the next step I need to do if I do not have a logout scan? Just go immediately and scan the application. So now today we see almost we have scanned 3 modules. In the past 4 days we have scanned 4 modules, and today itself we have scanned 3 modules. So you need to scan as many number of modules in order to automate the application. I just said select on screen what is the control you want to identify, log out, identify this, disable this, save it, your module will be saved and close it. So you can see a new module getting created, demo web shop. Rename it as demo web shop, pipe symbol, logo. Now see, all the modules are having a same and proper naming conventions, and you can easily identify it. I'm just using this in my test case, dropping it on my test case. The final step is click on logout, and I'll be just giving a click operation, and I'll be executing this. See how it is going to work. Now see, it has clicked on logged out, and again it has come back to the home page, right? Now you have automated a simple functionality. What is that functionality? You want to register a user into this application. So you started from clicking on register, entering the registration details, verifying the messages, and clicking on logout. So you have come out of this. And when you clicked on this test case, but the reason behind me asking you to enter a proper naming conventions is you can also see one tab called control flow diagram. It will also show you what are the step-by-step process that you are doing. See, as being a technical person, you know what are these steps. But when business wants to see, when clients want to see what exactly automation you are doing, you can show them the test case and you can show them the control flow diagram. When you show them the control flow diagram, so you can see here, first you are clicking on register, you are entering the details, you are verifying something and clicking on continue, and then you are logging out. See, by seeing this, business people can understand, okay, this is the flow diagram which I am doing it in my application, right? Is it clear for everyone?
Yeah, Madhav.
Yes. So now I'll ask you something. Now I have executed this test case completely step by step, right? Now, till now, from where I have started automation, from clicking on register means from clicking on register I have started the automation. But did I open the URL? Then how will the application will open till now? I have opened the application manually and then I started from clicking on register. But what is automation? I need to start doing it from scratch. I just need to click on one button called run, and it should open the application on its own and it should start executing on its own. Correct, right? So how do you open the URL? How do I open the browser automatically? So what I will be doing is, we have a standard module. See, now till now we have discussed only a normal modules, but today we are going to discuss something about a standard module. So in this standard module, there is one thing called open URL. If you want to open the application, this open URL is the standard module which you need to use it. So this standard module is present in the standard modules, tbox x engines, under the folder HTML, under that open URL, right? Open URL is the standard module which will be used in order to open the application or launch the application. So this is one way of finding it. For suppose, as being a new guy to the standard modules, you do not know right where it is there. So I'll tell you how to easily find it. So just go to your test case, click on your test case, give a right click. At last you have an option called bottom, search and add the test step. Click on that. So now search whatever you want. So basically, if I want to open a URL, what is the standard model? Open URL. Just start typing open. Okay, you see here, the first standard model itself is saying open URL. It will also show you the path, standard modules, tbox exchanges, HTML, open URL. So you can just select that particular thing. Now can you see, as I told you, whenever you want to add anything, it will come automatically at the bottom. But open URL, it should not be at the bottom right. Where it should be? It should be on top of register. First, you need to open the URL. So again, drag and drop. Everything in TOSCA is just a drag and drop. So I have just dragged and dropped this open URL into the top. Now, what is the first step? If I want to register a user, what should I do? First URL should be opened. What is the URL? This is the URL. I'm copying it. Can you see? I'm giving an input URL. This is the application URL which I want to use. I'm opening a URL. I'm clicking on register. I'm entering the registration details. I'm verifying the success message. I'm clicking on logout. And after clicking on logout, where exactly you are coming again to the same page, right? But the browser is not closing, right? If you want to close the browser, how to do? Again, you have a standard module called close browser. Simple. That is what I told you. TOSCA has given some predefined and inbuilt functionalities for us. So again, go to your test case, give a right click, search and add the test step. What is the standard module? Close. Now can you see close browser? I'm just clicking on this. Now close browser has come. This is the one more standard module. If you want to close the browser, you can use the standard module called close browser. And what is the attribute? It is asking you the title. Title means what is the title of the browser or the heading, what is present. What is the demo web shop? Right. So now I will be giving demo web shop. Correct, right? Demo, because this is the title of the application. I'm just giving this. But what I'll do is I won't give anything. I'll just give demo space star because today it might be only demo web shop. Tomorrow it might means you might close the browser from demo web shop registration page or demo web shop books page or demo web shop computers page. In the previous class we have discussed right the concept of wildcards. So from any place you want to close the browser, it is not from only the home page. So it is my convenience. So I am just closing the browser, but I'm just searching only for a title demo. If demo is there, after that I won't consider anything. Star mark is basically used for a wildcard. After demo, I won't give anything. So it will not consider and verify any value. So now see a test case. Now because the test case has been completed, now what I'll be doing is, as I told you, whenever you are working on the test case is completed, change the work state from in work to completed. So now see this actual icon of the test case is reflected now. So this is the actual test case which you have completed now and you have automated it completely end to end. Means starting to end, you have automated only one click. You are just running it. That's it. It will open the application on its own. It will click on this register. It will enter the registration details. It will verify something. It will log out. It will close. What from where you have started, you will come and land at the same place. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Now, I'll give you a small question here. If I execute this, will it work? I mean, will it pass or will it fail? Hmm? If I execute this, will it pass or will it fail?
Awesome.
Puch Babu saying it will be passed. How many people? Okay, how many people will agree to this answer that it will be passed?
Agree, sir.
Okay. What
Pass,
about
sir.
others? Sure, the four answers still now saying that it will be passed. What about others?
It will
Anyone
pass,
agree?
Madhav.
Okay, cool, fantastic. Hmm. Remaining people? Out of 16 people, I have got six answers. What the other 10 people are doing?
Well, well,
Fail. Who is saying it is fail? Charan.
yes, sir.
So why it will fail, Charan?
Registration is already we are created, right? That's why.
Exactly. So this is what I'm looking for. So if I run this test case again, it will be failed. Why it will fail? Because can you register with the same details again? Like we might have registered into the Amazon or Flipkart or Myntra, right? Whatever the website is, can you register again with the same email ID? And okay, passwords might be okay. That is not an issue. The most important thing is email ID, right? There might be different people with name Madhav. That is fine. Okay. but at least the email ID would be different. So because I am not changing this email ID, my test case will fail. I will try to show it to you. I'm just closing this. Now everything is closed, guys. Now you can see here, I've completely minimized. I'm just executing this. Right click, run in Scratchbook. So the answer is the test case will fail because already I have used the details. So I can't use the same details again to execute. See, now the URL has opened automatically. Now it is clicking register on its own. Now it is trying to enter all the details. See, it will fail now. See, the specified email already exists. And what happens? Now what TOSCA is looking for? After clicking on register, TOSCA is searching for verification of the success message, right? రిజిస్టర్ పైన క్లిక్ చేసిన తర్వాత టోస్కా దేనికోసం వెయిట్ చేస్తుంది, సక్సెస్ మెసేజ్ వెరిఫై చేయడానికి వెయిట్ చేస్తుంది. కానీ ఆ పేజ్ వెళ్ళలేదు ఎందుకు, మీ ఈమెయిల్లో ఆల్రెడీ ఎక్కిసేసారు. చూడండి హియర్, వెరిఫై ది సక్సెస్ మెసేజ్ యువర్ సి యువర్ రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ కంప్లీటెడ్ సక్సెస్ మెసేజ్ వాస్ నాట్ ఫౌండ్. అంటే దాని అర్థం ఏంటి, ఇది నెక్స్ట్ పేజ్కి వెళ్ళలేదని. టోస్గా ఏం చేస్తుంది, ఎంటర్ ద రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ డీటెయిల్స్, డీటెయిల్స్ అన్ని ఇచ్చేసింది. డీటెయిల్స్ ఇచ్చిన తర్వాత మీరేం చెప్పారు, సక్సెస్ మెసేజ్ వెరిఫై చేయమన్నారు. కానీ సక్సెస్ మెసేజ్ వెరిఫై చేయడానికి అక్కడ అది కనిపించట్లేదు. ఎందుకు కనిపించట్లేదు, ఆల్రెడీ సేమ్ ఈమెయిల్ ఐడి ఉంది కాబట్టి. సో యువర్ టెస్ట్ కేస్ ఫెయిల్. సో నౌ వాట్ యూ నీడ్ టు డూ, యూ నీడ్ టు చేంజ్ ది ఇన్పుట్స్. Now I changed my email ID. For example, change చేశాను, right? So I'm just again closing my browser. I'm again executing from starting. Run in Scratchbook. See, application launched automatically. It will click on register and it will enter all the details, and it will click on register and it will verify the success message. It will click on continue. It will log out and it will close the browser. చూడండి, ఒకటే ఒక బటన్ క్లిక్ చేశాను, రన్. నౌ ఆటోమేటికల్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఈస్ డన్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఈస్ క్లోజ్ ఆన్ ఇట్స్ ఓన్. చూడండి, బ్రౌజర్ మళ్ళీ క్లోజ్ అయిపోయింది. నథింగ్ ఇస్ ప్రెసెంట్. యూ కెన్ సీ ఈచ్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీ డీటెయిల్స్ క్లియర్లీ, స్టెప్ బై స్టెప్. టోటల్ మీరు చూడండి, హౌ మచ్ టైమ్ ఇట్ హెస్ టేకెన్ టు కంప్లీట్ ది ఎగ్జిక్యూషన్. 18 seconds it has taken to complete the execution of this single test case, రైట్? ఇప్పుడు నేను మళ్ళీ ఇదే టెస్ట్ కేస్ రన్ చేస్తే మళ్ళీ రన్ అవుతుందా? అవ్వదు. ఎందుకంటే సింపుల్, మళ్ళీ ఈమెయిల్ ఐడి ఆల్రెడీ ఉంది. సో ఇట్ ఈస్ ఏ ఇష్యూ, రైట్? ఇట్ ఈస్ ఏ బ్యాక్ డ్రాప్, రైట్? నాకు ఇట్స్ ఏ డ్రాబ్యాక్ ఫర్ మీ. So even though today you have learned to automate your first test case and that to an end-to-end functionality from starting to end, but this is a drawback for me, right? How do you overcome this? ఇప్పుడు మీ టెస్ట్ కేస్ ఉంది, మీ ప్రాజెక్ట్లో ఎన్నిసార్లు వాల్యూస్ చేంజ్ చేస్తారు చెప్పండి? Is it that easy to change the values, or is it a best practice to change the values all the time so whenever you want to execute? Time taking process కదా, ప్రతిసారి రన్ చేద్దాం అనుకున్నప్పుడల్లా వాల్యూ చేంజ్ చేయాలి. అలానే ఇప్పుడు మీ ప్రాజెక్ట్లో 100 టెస్ట్ కేసు ఉంది, 100 టెస్ట్ కేసెస్కి వెళ్ళి చేంజ్ చేస్తారా ఈమెయిల్ ఐడీస్? ఇట్స్ అ టైమ్ టేకింగ్ ప్రాసెస్ కదా. సో వాట్ వీ విల్ బి డూయింగ్ ఈజ్, we will be overcoming this situation in the tomorrow's class with the concept of dynamic expressions. So today whatever the values we have given, everything is a static and a predefined hard coded values ఇచ్చాము. So tomorrow we are going to remove these hard coded values, I mean static values, and we are going to use the concept of dynamic expressions which will generate the values automatically when you are executing. And we will be seeing that in the tomorrow's class. We will be overcoming this issue in the tomorrow's class. Is it clear for everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, any doubts in this?
No, wait. Sorry. No, sir.
Yeah, good. So I'm just stopping the recording here for now.